UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This
Hola, bienvenidos al Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España femenino. Espero que disfrutéis mucho de la semana.
Spanish star Azahara Munoz there with a warm welcome to the corner of Spain she calls home. Andalucía in the south of the country, famous for its scenery and some stunning golf courses. It's Real Club de Golf Guadalmina just outside Marbella that plays host to the Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España Femenino, an historic stop on the Ladies European Tour schedule with a high-quality roll of honour and a distinctly Spanish flavour this week. South African 9-time winner on the LET, Leanne Pace, is in the mix after 3 days of play and starts her final round 4 shots off the lead on 12 under. Georgia Hall from England had a frustrating day on Saturday, but is still in a good position to make a move and win her first LET title. The Spanish fans will be looking forward to getting behind Carlota Ciganda this afternoon after her 5-under round of 67 yesterday earned her a share of the lead on 16 under. And it's another Spaniard alongside her at the top of the leaderboard, the local Munoz, who saved her best to last with an eagle on the 18th in front of a huge group of adoring fans at her home club. This is how it looked after the third round. Ciganda and Munoz in a share of the lead on 16 under, with Hall 3 shots back, Pace on 12 under, and the likes of Lennart, Kinhol, Tescuriolo, Martinez, McLaren, Cowan and Luna all looking good for at least a top 10 finish. The scene is set then here at Guadalmina. Lee Goodall alongside Alison Whittaker. Welcome, Al. Should be a good afternoon. I mean, it couldn't be any more perfect for the Spaniards, could it?
It's like a storybook. Honestly, we couldn't have come up with this at the start of the week if we'd tried, and today is going to be something special. You just can't help but get the feeling that there's something in the air, the Spanish air for the Spaniards today maybe, so we'll see how it all unfolds. Perfect weather again. Slap some sunscreen on and go out and watch, because it's going to be brilliant.
What a day. That coastline and the beach is around 100 yards from our commentary position. We've got Puerto Banús down the road, playground of the rich and famous, Marbella around 10 minutes away, and Malaga not too far away. But the real story today is whether Azahara Munoz can win at the club she's called home since she was around 8 or 9 years of age. There's photos all over the clubhouse. It's obviously going to mean a lot. I guess one of the big questions is whether she can handle the emotions that go with it today. This is the live leaderboard.
So far, she's handling it pretty well. You can see 3 back-to-back birdies through 7 holes. She's on fire out there, and in direct contrast, really, to Georgia Hall and Carlota Ciganda, yet to make a birdie so far out there. So Arthur doing all the right things early. Yeah,
could Leanne Pace spoil the party? Knows how to win on the LET, that's for sure.
She does, and she's just been flying under the radar nicely, you know, in that second group back for the last 2 days, and I think you just can't ever count someone like Leanne out.
Let's jump straight into the live golf. The final group. There's a live pictures. We'll try and give you a flavour of what's been happening over the last hour and a half or so. The last group went out around 12:30. This was a little while ago. Georgia Hall.
On the reachable par 5, 7th. Oh, someone in the crowd was willing that one in. So she went 6 holes without a birdie. She actually dropped 2 shots, one on the first, one on the 5th, and then picked them both up there on 7. So she'll have the honour here on the 8th tee now.
Yeah, par 3, 8. It's been causing a few problems this week, this hole, isn't it? One of the trickier par 3s.
Yeah, actually was the hardest hole on the golf course yesterday, surprisingly enough. It's not very long. It's only roughly 155, but the pin is over, tucked in that back left corner today. Not the easiest spot to get to. Georgia actually doubled this hole yesterday in round 3, went left in that bunker you can see, and short-sighted herself, and then had some problems getting back from there. Ideally, everything on the green runs from right to left, so somewhere just right of the pin, pin high would be ideal.
Big crowds following this final group, as you would imagine. Munoz with the lion's share of the support, but Suganda, plenty of friends and family out on the course, despite coming from the north near Pamplona, just near the Pyrenees.
We're going to see quite a bit of this as well. The back-offs on the tee, a lot of the walkways are really close to other tees, other greens as well. So you can see a lot of the players are going to be quite aware of what's going on around them, which is hard to block out, especially under this kind of pressure. Laying it out right, needs a bounce. It's going to catch the hill, it does. That's going to get better by the second, so a bit of a better miss there than yesterday for Georgia.
Seems satisfied. Let's go up onto the 10th tee. This is the par 3 that runs alongside the ocean. Sunbeds in the distance there. Locals enjoying this late September weather, around 80 degrees today, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Megan McLaren there, just missing the green, pin high left. It's going to be a bit of a tricky chip.
Munoz next up, the leader.
Pretty rare that a par 3 is the hardest hole on the golf course, especially when it's inside a 6-iron, 7-iron range. Bit of a tough green to read, this one. That one leaking right as well, but we know there is a backstop there.
Now, a few moments ago, let's have a look at how Munoz moved on to 17 under. On the green in 2. This was the birdie part. No problemo.
The Spanish is getting pretty good, Lee.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Working on it. Gracias.
Carlotta probably just an 8-iron in hand. Definitely the longest of the 3 players in the final group. She too missed this green left yesterday. Manages to find that small portion of green left of the pin.
Even though she's 3 back, you still get the feeling with Suganda that she could just catch fire at any moment and still get her hands on the trophy. Still plenty of time for her, time on her side. Talked yesterday about the back 9, didn't you, and the opportunities that await there.
Plenty of par 5s, which we know she loves. Just a little right off the tee here for Leanne Pace. Long way left in to the pin on 9. And that's not going to be the easiest of up and downs coming up. It's interesting though, isn't it? Because usually when someone's got, say, a 3-4 shot lead, you think it's kind of done and dusted, but you just can't say anything of the sort on this golf course. And a touch of class there from Megan McLaren, 2 under for her day, just sneaking up that leaderboard. And one of the common themes you'll hear us mention is the fact that 4 of the 5 easiest holes on the golf course are in the last 5 holes. And so genuinely yesterday afternoon we were talking about who was going to be in front going into this morning. And then Carlotta went on a birdie spree coming down the stretch. Arthur made an eagle on the last, and all bets were off. So we'll be on the edge of our seats for quite a while, I'd say.
It's Megan McLaren looking to stay on 11 under. She does. 23-year-old from Wellingborough in Northants in England.
Having a good year, leading the Order of Merit on the LET Access Tour at the moment.
It's Leanne Pace, former Order of Merit winner, 9 LET titles on the CV, LPGA title as well 2 or 3 years ago.
And watch how soft these hands are. She's got an incredible short game, especially with high soft shots. Nicely done. She's the kind of woman that could get up and down off a tabletop if you asked her to.
I gather Carlotta had an eventful morning, Alison.
She did. I caught up with some of her crew earlier today before she teed off, and she actually had a bit of a mishap, tripped over someone and fell into the corner of a table and ended up bleeding. Just, halfway up her right leg, had to go and get herself patched up and just tried to settle the nerves a little bit before she went out there. But, of course, that double bogey on 4 probably didn't help settle her down that much. But she was okay. She got a proper warm-up in, and I can assure you that no surgery required or anything like that, just a pretty good Band-Aid. But
just throws you off a touch, though, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
On a big day, which it is for her, playing in Spain.
She operates at quite a high intensity anyway, so I don't know that she needed necessarily the dramatics that she had earlier on.
There's the leader. Oh, fabulous effort. Playing well today.
That was beautifully read as well. Haven't seen too many holes, putts held on the 8th, just because that back section really is hard to get your mind around.
Further up the course. It's not far away.
Had a nice little 66 yesterday. Camilla Lennart throwing herself right into contention. 5 birdies in the last 7 holes on Saturday.
There's Suganda with a patched up leg. Some work to do. She's going to leave with the trophy. Came close in Sitges, just outside Barcelona in April, the last time we were in Spain. Always keen to support the Spanish events, Suganda, despite spending most of her year over in the States. Any opportunity she gets to come back home, she's on the first plane. Loves Europe, very close to her heart.
She lives in Pamplona, has an apartment in the city there, and she's offered it to just about everyone on tour, actually. She's such a generous soul. But I know her mum, dad, brother, caught up with him earlier today. They're all out. This would be big for Georgia Hall. If she could get within, say 2 or 3, I think she'd know the importance that there's so many chances coming up.
Oh, yes, Georgia Hall. What a putt.
3 under for the last 2 holes. Not a bad way to steady the nerves. She's really the hottest player in European golf right now, isn't she? She burst onto the world scene at the Solheim Cup. Putts like that's little wonder why.
Up on the 9th green, Leanne Pace will have heard the noise.
The error really for Leanne was on that second shot, short-siding herself. I was quite amazed, actually, on the range this morning how many young players there were, both male and female, young boys and girls, out waiting to try and get some autographs and that kind of thing. It was quite the hype. Really nice to watch.
To be for Camilla. Drop shot for the Swede.
Had a little bit of trouble on this hole off the tee. In the second round, Georgia pulled it left, and then yesterday kind of overcompensated, blew it out to the right-hand side. So somewhere up the middle, surely due.
14 under now, then 1 under for her final round. Bit of momentum. Of bemused tourists, they're wondering what all the fuss is about.
She's only about 4 paces from out of bounds there, but she's going to have a lovely angle into the pin on the right-hand side. Would have been a little heart and mouth moment, though. Yes, the other day she actually bounced it off one of the fences, and it bounced back inside the ropes. So it's been kind so far. The 9th hole.
Defending champion this week, Munoz, not at this course last year, 12 months ago, but not too far away. It was still an emotional victory for Munoz, but it would mean so much for her if she could win a Ladies European Tour event at the club she grew up at.
It's such a big week as well, coming home, having all your friends and family out there. And we should say that, you know, a lot of people watching at home don't know she's on all of the signs that you drive around this golf course. Her face is everywhere. And you walk down its hallways, you see photos of her when she was a kid, and you just get the feeling that she's the princess of the golf course and the area. It's a lot of pressure. Just a slight dog leg really off the tee. There's a road that runs through around about the 240 mark, so most people laying back of that.
I think going back to Munoz as well, it is a bit of pressure, but it's also it's the opportunity, isn't it? Because it's a tournament that bounces around Spain. It's the 4th time it's been in this corner of Spain, so these chances don't come along very often as a pro golfer, do they, to win the same course that you learnt the game.
Oh, a little unlucky there. That was beautiful from Leanne. That green just drying out a little, perhaps.
It's McLaren, 11 under. Young English woman, 8th in the rookie standings this season. Safely on the green. Let's catch up with a live leaderboard. Put this early action into context, and it's still Munoz, the local from this club, Guadalmina, with a healthy lead, 4 shots as it stands. Siganda, Georgia Hall alongside one another now, 14 under par. Leanne Pace, after the bogey on 9, has just dropped back to 13 under, so a sizable gap between her and Munoz now. Megan McLaren's looking like it'll be a good week for her if she can hold things together over the back 9. Scuriolo Martinez was a joint leader after the opening day, as was Diana Luna there at the top of the 2nd page. And a tie for 10th with Ursula Wikström. Catherine Bristow putting together a good round today, 4 under through 16. She's moved on to 6 under par. Olivia Cowan, representing Germany, has had a good week here in Spain as well.
Leader after the first round, joint leader, Natalia Escuriola-Martinez. Short-sided left of 11. That's a tough shot. She actually did very well to get it to spin out of that lie. Not the place you want to be, though. A lot of elevated greens here at Guadalmina, and a couple of false fronts as well that we might see become a little bit more of a factor today than in previous days.
It's the 9th. Furthest point from the clubhouse. It's a long, narrow layout, isn't it? So we're alongside the Med. When you reach the 9th green and the par 3 10th, if you track back to the clubhouse, it's around 3 miles, I think.
It's a long way.
We haven't been there very often this week.
I actually drove there this morning, so that's saying something.
Got a train.
Yeah. The 9:05 to the clubhouse, but it's been, you know, a bit complicated in the first 2 rounds, less so obviously with less people playing on the weekend, trying to get the shuttles back and forth, and you know, a lot of morning school traffic on Tuesdays and Fridays that the players were sent an email about. Make sure you leave 25 to 30 minutes to make the track down to the 10th hole. It's not a bad place to be, though.
That's beautiful, isn't it? I gather the residents at the hotel next door, the Guadalmina Hotel, like to have a bit of breakfast on the terrace and then start their round on the 10th. That sounds like a nice day, doesn't it?
Sounds absolutely delightful. Pin over on that right-hand side. And that would look very good in the air. That's a nice shot.
She was the star on Friday, 64, round of 8 under. She said she thinks she can remember an 8 under on the North course, 2 courses here at Guadalmina. Thinks it was her best effort on the South course over the years.
Over the back on 10, Leanne Pace.
Oh.
Pretty handy effort. Still a tester coming back.
Siganda 14 under, tied with Georgia Hall in second as it stands. 2 over today.
Certainly started out to the right, didn't it?
See from the flag, hardly a breath of wind today, even right next to the ocean. Absolutely perfect playing conditions. It's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. Fabulous week of weather. Very little wind actually to speak of, as though, which is quite surprising when we're so close to the sea.
Apparently this time last week there was about a 2 to 3 club wind on this golf course actually, so it's rare that we get the best weather. We usually bring the bad weather with us on tour, but we've been treated here at Guadalmina. I like that little look. She looks like she's getting her intensity back, and now's the time to do it for Georgia Hall going into the back 9 here on Sunday. Kind of lost it a little bit the last, say, 27 holes. I think the final 9 on Friday and then a little bit again yesterday just seemed a little out of sorts on the golf course. Whenever she starts chasing after the ball, that's when you know you're in trouble.
Leanne Pace preparing for a putt for par on the 10th. Former winner at this tournament, 2013, the year it was held in Madrid. Mel Reid won in 2011. Laura Davies, 2010. Some quality champions over the years. I'm sure Siganda would dearly love to get her name on the Champions Board.
Looks like Leanne might be waiting for a ruling, actually. We think the ball might have moved, which is very... Oh, there it goes. Well, it was obviously not due to anything that she had done to it, so there shouldn't be any penalty involved, I wouldn't imagine. Maybe just getting clarification on whether to replace or not. Steve Kavanagh to the rescue, out to the 10th green. It's interesting, isn't it, when you grow up playing...
Come right, no problem.
So there's a hole over here for the moment.
We'll head back to that in a second.
Escuriola Martinez in the meantime with a good putt. One on this course on the Santander Tour event last season, so knows it well. Ninth green. Saganda for birdie. Needs to start making something happen this afternoon.
Tough in a final group, in a final round, when you see your playing partners go 3 birdies in a row and then Georgia Hall eagle birdie. Hard not to get impatient. It seems as though there's a little bit of a depression just right in front of where Leanne has to put the ball back, and she's concerned maybe that it's going to roll forward when she putts or something like that.
Looks like everyone's happy. Be back with pace in a few moments. Let's jump back to Munoz, 9th green. Can she extend her lead? Not this time. Par, 2 under for her front 9. Oh, she did well there after the delay. Suspect she'll be glad to get off the 10th green.
Little right to left, back up the slope.
Gave it a good go.
And it's the one thing that she hasn't really been doing that so much this week, Georgia. She's left a lot of putts short in the heart, which is surprising to say when you're sitting at 14 under par, to think that, you know, especially in yesterday's round, she was just missing by the smallest of margins over and over again. Still giving this one her full attention.
Trails by 4 then.
If you can get past the 9th hole, I think, with a par, you'll take it, because it's been consistently ranked this week in the top 4 hardest holes each day.
Par for Saganda 2. So no change at the top of the leaderboard as the final group head for the 10th tee, just a few yards away. This is how it stands, the final day here at the Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España. It's Munoz with a 4-shot lead. Hall and Saganda will be hoping for a bit of magic over the back nine, and perhaps hoping that nerves play a part for Arthur Munoz, which isn't out of the question.
Certainly not. And I think Arthur sometimes looks a little bit more unsettled on the golf course than she really is. She won at home last year when she was emotional, and that was massive at the time. And to come and be such a contender and be 4 in front right now, going into the back nine on Sunday at her home club, it shows the strength mentally that she has.
Escuriola Martinez, 10 under par. Good enough for 6th place at the moment. Another Spaniard who played well today, Luna Sobron, around a 65 in a tie for 9th as it stands.
What a finish that was as well. 3 birdies and an eagle in the last 5 holes for Luna. Incredible golf.
Georgia Hall then on the 10th tee.
46 yards to a back left pin. Pretty commercial shot, really.
Georgia looking to tick off another item on the 2017 to-do list this afternoon. It's been some season for her, some year, really a breakthrough year. Not only on the European scene, but the international scene in many ways. The majors as well, Solheim Cup debut. Broken the top 50 of the world rankings. It's all happening for Georgia. Looking for a first LET title this afternoon.
Not a dissimilar spot to where Arthur was yesterday. Pin in a little bit of a different location, but it's going to be a similar shot coming up for her. Walked away with a 4 in round 3. Back part of this green really is drying out. You can see the ball releasing. Georgia's sat down pretty quickly, but Arthur's took a big hop forward, as did Leanne Pace's.
Great shot from Saganda. Still fighting. Highest ranked player in the field at the start of the week. Well, number 22 these days.
The amateur, Swedish amateur, Frida Kinhult. She's been a real feature this week. One of the 6 Swedish amateurs on the junior Solheim Cup team. And such talent coming out of that country at the moment. Nice shot there for her.
Birthday girl tomorrow, Frida, turns 18. Be a nice little birthday weekend, wouldn't it? Top 5 finish. In there somewhere in the shadows amongst the picnic hampers. Marbella beyond and Puerto Banús, popular tourist destination for European holidaymakers and golfers. Numerous golf courses as you make the journey from Malaga Airport to Guadalmina.
Interesting angle here for Leanne. Looks as though she's in the rough short of the bunker, so that's going to help. Oh, very nice. And just a couple of feet away. Was that a yeehaw from the crowd? I hope it was.
There's a cowboy in there.
Well, she did go to school in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
What's their nickname? You're good with college nicknames. Oh, you're looking blank. I haven't got you, if I. You came out with a great one the other day.
Well, the Horned Frogs from TCU,
Frogs,
true.
Yeah, Valderi.
But I believe it was some kind of bird I'm going to go with at Tulsa. Of course, Arthur and Carlotta both went to Arizona State University. They're the Sun Devils. And a very nice third shot there for Megan McLaren. Megan's father, David, the head of the European Senior Tour. Golf is in the blood.
It's surprising how many have parents with golfing connections, isn't it? Looking at Olivia Cowan's family connections this morning. Her father got her playing at the age of 3. So pace taps in. Kinholtz as well. Her father's a professional back in Sweden. Her brother as well.
Yeah, and brother Marcus. I think he plays on the European Tour as well as the Challenge Tour.
Tagging along as kids on days like this, I would imagine. Eventually it catches your attention, doesn't it? You want to have a go, and next thing you know, here you are. That's what happened to Arthur. Great shot.
One of the nicest things about this final group is that they all desperately want to win, but they all love watching good golf.
Oh, it does disappear.
You cheeky golf ball.
And moves to 11 under. She's bounced back well, hasn't she? She played really well on Thursday and then just struggled a bit on Friday. Sometimes that's when players disappear for the weekend, but fighting her way back up the leaderboard.
From long range, Georgia Hall. Up over a slight ridge there. Should keep rolling out. Was online.
Birdie fully on pace, incidentally, has brought her back to 14 under, so alongside Hall and Sigander now. Tie for second. Munoz still 4 clear. It's McLaren. Solid putt. Sigander looking a little puzzled after that one slips past. I said yesterday it was all about staying patient. She made it a bit of a slow start to her third round, but trusted herself, backed herself on this kind of golf course, knew the opportunities would come along, and just kept her fingers crossed that she would finally take 1 or 2. She certainly did towards the end of her third round. She'll be hoping history repeats itself today. Featured in a playoff with Anna Nordqvist and eventual winner Florentina Parker in Sitges in April in Spain. It's a lovely event.
Ooh, it dropped. Would have got the heart pumping though.
Par for Sagander, stays 14 under.
I think it'd still be inside the hole with the line here. No trouble at all.
She's fought well today, Georgia Hall, 21 years of age. But it's all about chasing Munoz down over the back nine. Looking cool, calm and collected so far. Let's go back to Kinhult, the Swedish amateur. Turns 18 tomorrow.
She's heading over to Florida State to play college golf next year. Actually won the Ladies Spanish Amateur. That's how she got in the event in Jerez in Spain, just down the road.
So the final group through 10 holes now. It's still Munoz with a 4-shot lead. It's Frida Kinhult, we saw a few moments ago, tied for 7th alongside fellow Swede Camilla Lennart. She's rejoined Leanne Pace.
Another tee change on 12 as well. Moved the tee back to its original tee box, I believe, about 355 yards. Yesterday it was moved up to 271. It was reachable. And it really is the tale of two tee boxes. It's completely different from this back tee, kind of a long iron or a hybrid off the tee, and then another long mid iron in. That'll be okay. Seems to have an old head on her shoulders, Frida. I like the way that she's going about her golf. Seems very measured and quite an old soul for her age, really.
Eleventh tee then for Munoz, Sagander and Hall.
Georgia Hall's already found the fairway, as does Arthur. 11 and 12, kind of interesting little par fours in that they're not very long. 11 just 309 yards, but there's a lot that can come into play off the tee. Bit of a chess match when you're pulling your club to begin with, up to an elevated green. This might bring trees right into play. Oh, lucky bounce through those trees on the corner. I think she'll be able to play uninhibited by some branches. We'll see if Carlotta got lucky.
Of course, you can follow everything that's going on the Ladies European Tour on Facebook. Search Ladies European Tour, got all sorts on there, highlights, some player features, behind the scenes interviews with some of the legends as well. Trish Johnson interviewed this week as part of the Legends series. You can see the full interview on social media. Twitter as well is a good place to go for all the news from the tour. At LET Golf. Get in touch.
Some of those features as well. That Legends interview with Trish Johnson, that's worth a watch. Don't think she likes slow play, Trish. Worth a little check-in, hearing what she has to say with such experience under her belt.
Time for a snack for Carlotta. What's in that tub?
Well, I think
What do you guys normally go for this time of day?
it looked like Camilla Lennart just had pasta out, actually. I'm going to call her out on it. She's going to kill me for that. But usually, you know, some muesli bars or sandwiches or something like that. I wouldn't put it past Carlotta, actually, to have a little jamon in her bag, because she is a mad jamon fan. Loves it.
Well, we've got a window of opportunity. Let's take a look at one of the light-hearted elements of this week. A bit of target practice with a Spanish flavour.
Thanks to Nuria, because she gave me a 2-iron, so it was much easier with that. Put the ball to the right foot and close the club face and try to hit it low.
Anka Lindner with the interview. Bit of fun on the driving range at the start of the week. There were some flamenco dancers down on the range as well, keeping the ladies entertained. Insi Mehmet gets a shout out for her efforts.
MVP for the dancing. Although
I'm sure she'll thank us for that.
if Carlotta Segunda gets the win, I can tell you that her parents are pretty good dancers as well.
Hall's second on the 11th.
Will it come all the way back down the slope? It's trying to. And a much flatter putt coming up now for Georgia Hall.
If Munoz went to court, she's promised she's going to jump in the pool, isn't she, up at the clubhouse?
I wonder if she's got the Spanish towel ready. Still too soon to call it.
Off the high board, I'm hoping. A couple of somersaults. Leanne Pace playing up to the 12th green. That's another great shot. Just still hanging around, isn't she, Leanne? Here's Munoz.
Well, this was the turning point yesterday. At one point in time, Georgia Hall had a 3-shot lead, and on the 11th, Arthur and Carlotta both matched her, but that's not going to be that lovely. Up against the collar of the rough there.
Murmurs of disapproval, tension among the crowd, willing Adahara Munoz on this afternoon. Many of them will have watched her grow up here as a kid. There are pictures of her climbing trees. She used to walk to this club from her house, around 15-20 minute walk away. As you say, she seems like an integral part of the club. It's not often you walk into a golf club. There are so many photos of just one player on there. They're really following her career with interest. Here's Segunda.
Did well to cover that false front that comes into play on 11 there.
Segunda's dad was, uncle was in town, should I say, last night. He's the manager of Atletico Bilbao, the Spanish football team. Played Malaga last night. Threw away 3-1 lead, 10 minutes to go, 3-all. He'll have been in a bit of a bad mood this morning, I would imagine. Jose Siganda. She's from a sporting family. Carlotta loves her football, doesn't she?
She never says no to the Evian football match, I can tell you that much.
Played in Sitges, didn't she? There was a football match there as well in April. Some of the players took part.
Over the back of 12 here, Frida Kinhult. Seems to have a decent lie. But as you can see, not much green to work with. Pin 28 paces on. So putt for par coming up. This shot's going to be interesting for Arthur. There's not a whole heap of green behind the pin on 11, and it does start just drifting off that back edge of the green to our right of screen. You can see it almost looks like the pin's just clutching to the back edge from where she's standing.
Looking good. Sometimes winning tournaments is how you deal with those kind of moments, isn't it? It's not about the glory shots. It's getting yourself out of trouble, how you deal with those situations. Dealt with that one admirably.
Someone's going to get a nice read out on 13. Better get the measuring tape out.
And Megan's had a great week. Playing alongside Olivia Cowan there in the... I was going to say green. Is that green?
We'll go with green.
Yeah.
I like that.
One of those shades that is moving towards blue. Anyway, back to the golf.
Still 2 over par for her round today, Carlotta. Not sure we would have believed that. Given her 66, 67, 67 first 3 rounds.
McLaren in for par, stays on 11 under. Tied for 5th. Great week for her. Spanish fans are ready.
There's about 3 flags on the first hole today. You usually see them pull them out of their pockets on the back 9, but they were ready at 12:11 when this tee time went out.
Fans have still shown a lot of love and appreciation for Georgia Hall the last couple of days. Will it get in her head at all that she's playing with 2 Spaniards this afternoon?
Well, I spoke to her about it this morning, and she said we were laughing because someone yelled it out in a very distinctly British accent yesterday. Go on, Georgia. And so I said, oh, who do you have in the crowd? She said, there's so many expats here that she actually feels as though she's got a little crowd of her own, I think, amongst the Spaniards.
Par for Sagander. Stays on 14 under, 4 shots behind the leader, Munoz. Has a putt for par. Stay on 18 under.
Just outside the circle of friendship, isn't it? Even though these two are practically sisters. I don't think Georgia would give it to her. They've had a healthy rivalry throughout their career since they've known each other. Carlotta actually finished runner-up to Arthur in the 2009 British Amateur. They went head-to-head. Arthur got the title.
Leanne Pace for birdie. Not quite enough on that. 2 under for her round today.
She got the read, did the homework from Megan McLaren. So hold out nicely there for Escuriola Martinez. And a mere formality for Leanne Pace.
Yeah, one of 3 players on 14 under par alongside Hall and Sagander, but still Munoz out in front, step closer to leaving with the trophy.
Settle down, settle. Yeah, there's a little bit of an upslope just before that hazard. George actually said during the Solheim Cup she had to club down about 1.5 clubs because she was so pumped up that her yardages just went out the window that week. So much adrenaline, and it's almost exactly the same thing that happens on a back 9 on a Sunday. Really important experience for her. Little high draw as ever for Arthur. I think Carlotta would have been begging for the same tee box as yesterday after she was in the greenside bunker, made up and down for birdie. It's a bit of a different hole from back here. Hard to attack it.
Still looking pretty relaxed out there. No signs of any frustration despite scoring today. Just be telling herself to remain patient. Reminder of how it stands. Coming towards the end of the final round here at Guadalmina. Zahara Munoz, the local star, with a 4-shot lead over Pace, Sagander and Hall. 3 Spaniards there. That mini leaderboard. Miles has played well in this part of the world on the Ladies European Tour over the years. Won close to here last year, of course, as we look at Diana Luna for birdie on the 14th. Yeah, won close to here last year. She's also won the Madrid Ladies Masters 2009, so another tournament in Spain, and she's won the Lacoste Ladies Open a couple of times at Chantecaut, which is just over the French-Spanish border near the Pyrenees. Next stop on the Ladies European Tour schedule, Chantecaut, beautiful part of the world, just near Biarritz, Saint-Jean-de-Luz, Annelise Cordell territory.
First look today at Ursula Wikström. Bogeyed the first hole, all pars since then. After that 67 yesterday.
The fastest thing on two legs on the Ladies European Tour.
Speed walker.
Doesn't hang around.
Pammy Pretzwell-Asher from the back edge of the green for birdie on 14. There she goes. Got off to a nice start. 2 birdies in the first 3 holes, but plateaued. 2 bogeys since then, so another one back for the Scot.
What was your assessment of Georgia Hall's golf during Solheim? You were out there in the States, Alison. Disappointment for Europe, but that presumably was one of the headlines for the European team, her performance.
Yeah, definitely. The only problem with that was that Georgia had no idea. She got to the final night, was, you know, I had a chat with her and she was a bit upset at the Team Europe party just because she felt like she'd really played her heart out and didn't have that many points to show for it. But upon reflection, I said, go and take a look at some of the footage. I think you'll realise what you did and what you contributed to the team. It's pretty hard to get a grip on it when you're out there playing under such pressure. And I think in the end, it turned into quite a confidence booster for her.
The only player to play in all 5 matches from either team. That says an enormous amount, doesn't it, for someone so young making their debut?
I would have played her 7 times if there was enough matches. She was absolutely brilliant. Not often you get that from a rookie, not dissimilar to Charlie Hull's rookie appearance in 2013 at Colorado Country Club.
And a lot of praise from the Americans as well for Georgia Hall, wasn't there, after that? I think they'll be seeing a lot more of her in Solheim golf over the years to come.
She's headed to the LPGA Q School in October, and hopefully for her again in December as well, final stage. Planning on trying to get her LPGA card this year. Feels like she's ready. Still a lengthy club in. Around about 140 yards to the front of the green. Pin today on 28 paces. Actually going to be okay there, but it's going to be up over a slight rise and then another ridge toward the back of the green coming up for Arthur.
Saganda next to play. Both Hall and Saganda just need to stay close enough to Munoz to make her feel the pressure. Hope she gets a little bit tight over the closing holes. If she gets maybe 5 or 6 ahead, that might take that element out of the equation today. If one of them could make a move maybe in the next couple of holes, then things could get interesting.
Still another 3 par 5s coming up, and all 3 of them really within reach of Saganda and maybe even Hall Arthur the shortest of the 3 players in the final group.
Leanne Pace, another on 14 under.
This one might be just drifting left. Needs to hang on. It's been really difficult, I think, on the last 2 days for the players to judge the bounces on the green. In previous rounds, it was really receptive golf. You could just fly the ball straight at the target, which I know Carlotta and Georgia really enjoy that style of golf. Becoming a little bit more strategic out there today. Third for McLaren. And you can see just starting to launch forward those first bounces.
There's the Swedish amateur Kinhult, second on the 13th. It's a friendly bounce. Munya's, of course, missing out on Solheim Golf last month. She's been a regular over the last 5 or 6 years, but didn't make the team on this occasion. Sikander was there.
Sikander almost was turned into one of the leaders, given that Suzann Pettersen wasn't out on the golf course. And I remember only 2 Solheims ago when I was talking to Carlotta before she teed it up on the first day of that Solheim, before she headed out to the first tee, and she could barely hold a pen. She was that nervous. And now 2 Solheims later, she's part of the furniture, really, isn't she, of European golf. Come such a long way since then.
Yeah, Anna Nordqvist flying the flag for European golf at the moment. Winner at the Evian, of course, just a couple of weeks ago.
We mentioned Jesus, Carlotta's father, and his lucky shirt. Funny enough, he's wearing it today. Didn't wear it yesterday. He's been doing some laundry. We'll see him around the outskirts of dark green somewhere, yelling "Vamos." That's where she gets it from. Interesting shot choice there from Arthur. Bump and run. Didn't seem to get too much height on that. It certainly came hot off the club face. So perhaps the first real test for the leader.
Yeah, she'll have that to save par. Let's see what Leanne Pace can do on the 13th green. This for birdie. Could do with just something dropping, couldn't she, just to maintain the belief that she can get it done today.
You get the feeling, don't you, that someone really needs to spring out of that group at 14 under par and get to, say, even 15 or 16 would probably be enough pressure to really keep things going, especially with Arthur now with a par save required. Club face open, using the bounce of the club here. It is severely downhill once you get up over that rise. Hard to tell from the overhead camera angle just how much slope there is.
Perhaps an opportunity for Georgia here. Back there in a moment. It's the penultimate group, Kinhult. Here's Georgia Hall. She'll have the slightly shorter putt for par.
Probably the most makeable of all three, really.
Megan McLaren, the Englishwoman, on 11 under par. Rookie on the leaderboard.
Par save for Frida Kinhult. No trouble. Talked about her mind frame. And she just seems to get it. She understands the way that golf is played off different sorts of grasses, and has learnt a lot already.
Now Munoz for par. No. Drops a shot. She'll be hoping she can get away with it. Back on the 12th green in a few moments. That was Escuriolo Martinez. Saganda for par.
Can't afford to let these opportunities slide. With Arthur bogey at best. That was big. She knew it.
Narrows the gap. Can Georgia Hall follow suit? Yeah, she knew that was key. Understated fist clench, but a fist clench nonetheless.
This part of Georgia's, it's reasonably flat, but it's not the easiest spot on the green to read because there is a slope coming off the right and also the left, and it's almost as though the whole location is squeezed right between those two slopes. Just needs to be firm.
So Munoz and Georgia Hall both drop a shot. So good news for Carlota Saganda.
Down to 17.
That's right.
And Leanne Pace, who are both now within 3 shots of the leader. Megan McLaren for par on the 14th, par 5. Yep. Sneaks in. The leaderboard now with a slightly different complexion as we move towards the business end of this Ladies European Tour event. All of a sudden, Munoz with that lead cut to 3 shots. Pegged back from 18 under par to 17 under par, the leader. Pace and Saganda now just 3 shots adrift, 14 under. Bogey for Georgia Hall, who's now still 4 shots back. Some of the names a little further down. Suzann Pettersen, former world number 2. It's been good to have her in the field, although hasn't played her best golf, but still on the way back from recent injury. 13th tee, Saganda.
Monstrous drive down the fairway there, launching forward. one of the longer holes on the golf course. The 13th, 395 yards long. Today, the pin kind of almost tucked over on that back right-hand side. Hall and Munoz both found the left fairway bunker in previous days. And the one spot you don't really want to miss it to this pin would be left, would be on that right-hand side. Left's okay, just because of the angle. We'll wait and see where that one ended up.
Perhaps be kicking herself a bit, Georgia. Missed out on an opportunity. Previous hole.
Only 3 birdies had on this hole today. Played as the 3rd hardest hole on the golf course yesterday as well. Similar trend continuing today.
What will be going on in Munoz's mind? Will events on the previous green, are they enough to make a difference mentally? Will she have a slightly different feeling now?
I think she's still in a very comfortable position realistically, because she herself is playing good golf. It's not as though she's plateaued at all really, despite that one birdie. You know, the birdie run in 5, 6, 7, but that bogey in the previous hole seems still pretty comfortable.
Still be hoping it's Munoz who lands in the swimming pool in a couple of hours. She went with us earlier, that's what she's promised. She does win this tournament. Maybe a Spanish thing. I remember Rafa Nadal doing the same after he won in Barcelona at his home club in April. The tennis tournament there, the ATP event.
Oh, nasty bounce forward there. Not an appetising lie coming up for Megan McLaren on 15.
If the tension does start creeping into Munoz's game, does it have a physical effect? How does it affect you as a golfer?
It's different with each player. When Carlotta gets nervous, her timing tends to get out, her hips get ahead of her upper body, and she has a tendency to kind of flip her hands over left and right. So all of a sudden, you know, the ball kind of could go anywhere when she starts feeling under pressure. George's bad shot is really mainly a pull up that left-hand side, but with Arthur, she has a tendency to kind of pop her hips a little bit, particularly throughout impact. So she hasn't been doing it that much this week, but she's been looking pretty solid, to be honest with you. It's almost a monotonous golf swing, which is exactly what you want.
Never quite tell what's going on behind the shades with Leanne Pace. Kenny looks pretty chilled out most of the time.
The queen of deadpan, which is a good thing, we all know, in golf.
Does she play poker in the evenings?
She probably should, actually. She's a cool customer. And has an opportunity here on 14. Reachable par 5. You can see the pin just to the right of that 14 sign. Drawing it back in. Does it have enough in the tank to get up on the green? Oh, very nice. And that's going to roll, if anything, a little closer to the pin. She's enjoying that one.
Noticeably relaxed, isn't she, out on the course this week? Clearly enjoying returning to the Ladies European Tour. Must be a good feeling when you've won so many titles. Incredible season in 2010 when she won 5 tournaments, Order of Merit, Players Player of the Year title as well. Now here's Georgia Hall. This is what lies ahead.
It doesn't have immediate tree trouble, but the ball's slightly above her feet will favour a draw, which is really a natural shot for her that she likes playing, but anywhere realistically within 30 feet would be pretty good from here. Should probably try and aim at the left half of the green, if anything, and almost push the ball onto line out of a lie like that. Hard to hit a true fade. See that one skinny kind of tree trunk. That'd be a good lie. Shoulders go down. Just didn't quite get proper contact. She had Brad Beecher on her bag last week at Evian, and he was priceless in moments like that for her, keeping her in the mix, keeping her patient during a major. Just the local on the bag this week. Not too chatty.
How's the Spanish?
Non-existent, really. I can tell you. Decent shot there from Frida Kinhult as well. Just short there on 14. But Arthur with a beautiful angle here. Everything on this green almost feeds down to that back left corner. So back right, a tough pin to get close to. This one's headed a little left of the pin. It might just feed away, but pretty decent.
Are you surprised Georgia Hall doesn't have a regular caddy? Do you think she needs one?
It's a bit of a running joke between she and I that, in her opinion, she's pretty autonomous as a golfer. She really doesn't require a lot of input, but I think one of the things she'll realise once she does get a consistent caddy is that it's not necessarily the club choice, but sometimes keeping you cool, cracking a joke at the right moment, giving you a bottle of water when you've had a bad hole. It's those little things that the good caddies are exceptional at, and something that Terry McNamara has brought a lot of to Carlotta's game. They've become a really great pair together. That's okay. Still very makeable from over there.
Alhara Munoz still in the driving seat. Let's rejoin Megan McLaren in the blue. Oh, yes. What a time to join her. Cool as a cucumber.
Pretty handy goal for that one. Two-time winner on the LET Access Tour, Megan. Once as an amateur, once as a pro.
There she is, McLaren. There's a racing up the leaderboard gag in there somewhere. I'll spare you.
Can she get this on that plateau? It's going to be a tall order to save par for Georgia Hall. Staring down the barrel of back-to-back bogeys right now, potentially.
McLaren's playing partner, one of them, Escuriola Martinez. Not quite match the quality of the English woman. Kinhult, 9 under par. What a week it's been for her. 17 years of age. Easy to forget that, isn't it? This kind of field. Experience and quality around her. She's looks so at home out there. You mentioned Kinhult will be heading to the States, the college system over there. What's she looking for as a golfer of her standard at the moment, what can she get out of a 4-year period over there?
Well, realistically, Europe's best golfers do, as a general rule, go to college in the States. It's probably at least 50% either way than turning pro. But, I mean, 2 out of 3 of these players went to college and university in the States, and a lot more have done just that. Usually about half the Solheim Cup team went over to the US, and it's just the level of competition that you get week in, week out. You're playing against usually the US's best, along with Australasia and Europe as well. I know my Duke coach was upset that he wasn't able to snag her for himself. She's quite highly sought after.
Another Swede, Lennart.
Should start feeding towards the hole about now.
It's Munoz. Just ticking off the holes now.
Fourteen's a big one, really, coming up for the chasing pack. Reachable par 5, Leanne Pace out there with an eagle putt. And here she is, down the slope. Has she hit it? Another tap-in birdie for Leanne. So she gets to 15 under. Now within 2 of the lead. Might just have caught that left edge, mightn't it, if it had 2 or 3 rolls left.
Georgia Hall about to putt.
Just starting to look a little bit flat out there on the golf course. I think that par putt, if that had gone in on 12, we'd be seeing a bit of a different body language from Georgia.
It's the young Swede who'll be heading to the States. Can't quite move on to 10 under par. Presumably facilities as well, going back to that conversation, facilities and the standard of coaching is very high, one would imagine. So it's a balance of education, but also your game improves no end.
Oh, definitely. And just, you know, the resources that you have, all of your golf travel paid for. Big putt for Sagunda. That would have been a pretty decent little birdie not to beat. I think a lot of these players using the US as a true stepping stone between their comfort zones of playing at home in their own country. And I think that scorecard tells the tale for Carlotta so far. Bogey free today. Another player that went to the States, played for the University of Alabama, Camilla Lennart, really actually used it as a springboard. She was a decent college player and then turned pro and really pressed on from that, coming into some of her best golf after a bit of a later stage of her career.
Disappointment on that occasion, but he's played well this week. Struggling with a hip injury of late. Yeah. Former winner on LET 2014, Slovakia.
I won't refer to it the way that she does. It's definitely a glute muscle that's the problem for Camilla.
Pictures on social media of what looked like some sort of acupuncture treatment in the last few weeks. Siganda's ball on its way.
Absolutely motoring down the 14th there as well. She's got about 190 yards to the front of the green from there. Certainly within reach for someone of her length.
Been good to her this 14th hole. Birdie, birdie, birdie. First 3 rounds for Munoz. She'll be hoping for the same. So the final group has begun its adventure down the 14th. Those behind Munoz. Time starting to run out a touch. At the moment, it's looking like it's going to be a famous home victory at this Guadalmina club. Munoz still with a healthy lead. It's a pace, Siganda. McLaren now in a tie for 4th alongside Georgia Hall. Incredible week for the young Englishwoman. Pettersen playing the final hole, 7 under for the tournament. Bit of a better day for her. She played well initially on Thursday, but she disappeared on Friday and Saturday. Back injury ruling her out of Solheim, so still very much returning to her best, Suzann Pettersen. Leanne Pace now, 15 under.
Had trouble on this hole yesterday. Clipped the tree about halfway to the hole. Similar line there. Not the friendliest of up and downs required. 168 yards to the pin to date on 15. Around about a 6-iron for most players, given the pins at the back and the greens releasing. It's green, but it's a tidy little golf swing on Kinhult. Like her action, not a lot of moving parts. A little late with the hands there, though.
Megan McLaren has worked her way into a tie for 4th currently. th tee, Lennart. Putting the finishing touches to her preparations.
Does a lot of work with Fredrik Lundgren as a swing coach. Has quite a few people around her as well. Sports Psych is Kent Lindahl as well. That's something she's really paid quite a lot of attention to the last few years in particular. After that win in 2014 in Slovakia.
Best of the bunch. 29 years of age, born and lives in Stockholm. So many great golfers out of Sweden, isn't there?
I think we're about to journey into a bit of a golden age, actually, for Swedish golf. I think the junior Solheim was a really good indication. 6 players on the team from Sweden. Incredible stuff. And I believe at least 5 of those 6 headed to college in the States as well. So there's going to be a flood of Swedish talent hitting their shores next year. So that red square there, 190 yards to the front. Arthur first to play. A couple of bunkers short right of the green to contend with, so you really need to throw this at around about 20 yards short of the green if you can. Let it roll up. Leaking right.
Would a par on this hole be a disappointment for Munoz?
Absolutely. Yeah, she'll have a ridge and then another slope once she gets onto the green. This green almost 3 sections. There's the front top section and then the back left and the back right portions. Today, pin in the back left section as we've seen from earlier. Might be headed toward the bunker.
Keeping a close eye on Megan McLaren this afternoon.
Here's her advantage, iron in hand for Siganda. Just straight across the top of that one. That could end up in quite a precarious little spot. I think might have been slowed down by the crowd maybe. One of her parents diving in front of the golf ball again maybe, perhaps. You can see she usually plays with a cut and just swiping straight across that. Didn't quite catch it, maybe a bit of a bad lie as well. Adding to the troubles.
All three with a bit of work to do then. Up ahead.
Textbook flop shot. I mentioned it earlier on the 9th hole. Watch this. Lays the club open. Just lets the golf club overtake her hands through impact. Leanne Pace. It's almost as though the back part of the club face is hitting the ground, if you will. That was pretty good from there. Again, the camera angle just flattening out the slope a little bit. She'll take it.
Another birdie for Escuriola Martinez. 12 under with 2 to play.
It's all going to depend on the lies, really, for Georgia Hall and Carlota Siganda. I think Georgia hit far enough that she'll be on the upslope in that bunker, but it seems, yeah, she's just up against the lip. And it seems as though Carlota might be over in the rough, in the back left section in the shadows.
That's the live leaderboard. Leanne Pace. Not too far away is she from Munoz. Munoz slips up. Leanne could cash in this afternoon. Siganda's still within striking distance too. It's looking like it'll be one of those three. But we mustn't rule out the unexpected.
To have a very nice lie, actually, sitting up just in that first cut of rough, Arthur. You can see up over the front edge of this green, there's a small plateau for the first, say, 6 or 7 yards, and then the ball will kick forward and then down around to the left once it gets to that back left section of the green. Okay, contact sounded a little bit tinny. Heard some interesting noises coming from her chips really the last couple of days. Doesn't seem to be quite striking them in the sweet spot, but that'll work.
Camilla Lennart with a birdie putt on 15. No, it's well short.
We know who that man is. Miguel Angel Jimenez watching on. Nice to have his company out on the golf course. Another big supporter of Spanish golf. He'd be lapping this up. So good. So creative from Siganda. Bumping it into that little rise, letting it roll out. Beautiful. To stay at 15 under par. This is big for Leanne Pace. Huge up and down there to stay within 2, at least for now. Chances coming up for that final group.
Georgia Hall. Quality golf we're being treating to right now. Let's go back to the 15th. Friedeken Hult drops the shot. Back to 8 under for the Swedish amateur. Tie for 7th. Munoz still with a 2-shot lead over Pace. Munoz 17 under, Pace 15 under. Brilliant. Extends the lead.
That could be it. That could be the birdie that just lets her loosen up on those last 4 holes.
Can Siganda respond?
Still looking for a first birdie of the day, Siganda. Realistically needs to have 4 or 5 coming down the stretch.
Is it all going to start here? First one on the card. And perhaps an important one. Just to stay in touch with Munoz. Joins Pace on 15 under, so Pace and Sagander 3 shots off the leader, Munoz.
And a nice sandy up and down there for Georgia Hall. Gets her to 13 under par. It's been a bit of an up and down day, really. But that one maybe steadying her after bogeys on 12 and 13.
This is Lennart with a tee shot on the 16th. One of a fairly big group in a tie for 7th at the moment. One of those, Suzann Pettersen, who we haven't seen too much of over the last couple of days. Let's remind ourselves of how it looks at the top of the leaderboard. It's still Munoz now with a 3-shot lead. Leanne Pace and Carlota Sagander, closest challengers, both on 15 under. Georgia Hall 13 under in 4th place all alone now. Scuriolo Martinez ensuring there are 3 Spaniards in the top 5 as it stands. Megan McLaren in 6th on 11 under. We saw Pettersen's name at towards the bottom of that graphic. There's Camilla Lennart. We've just seen her tee shot on 16. Fabulous round from Luna Sobron, 65 today. Finished the tournament on 7 under par. Good weeks for Izzy Gabser as well from Germany. Another of the locals, Noemi Jimenez Martin, from this part of the world as well. Clara Spilkova, a winner on the LET earlier this season in Morocco. But it's all eyes on Azahara Munoz over the next 3/4 of an hour or so.
I've done some math, Lee,
Go
over
on.
here. So the average player has played the next 4 holes in 16.34 shots out of 17. There's 3 of the 5 easiest holes on the golf course still to come. So there's still chances for players like Leanne Pace, Carlota Sagander, in particular with her length. That's okay there, safely on. It is playing as one of the harder holes on the golf course at the moment. The 15th with that hole location way back in that right corner, just tempting everyone to go long, bringing that back right bunker into play. So safely on is job number 1 accomplished.
I was a little bit concerned when you got your corkscrew out around 5 minutes ago. Thought you were going to crack open a nice, crisp, white Rioja.
No,
The last
behaving.
hour of the show.
Behaving so far. I would need to send that out to Miguel Angel Jimenez, don't I? He seems to also be behaving himself so far. He's a red fan, probably a Rioja fan. He's going to be a fan of that shot if it sits down. That's not too bad there. Just rolling out over that back edge. It's a hard green to hold once you get up pin high, as we've seen so far today.
Soft drinks only in the commentary box, just for the record, for anyone wondering. Not until at least 5 o'clock in this part of the world. It's Georgia Hall, 13 under.
This one's starting left again. Will it sit down? The answer is yes. So another birdie putt at least. Big money on the line as well here for Georgia, who wants a chance to win the Order of Merit. Currently 2 shots back from this woman.
Just plugging away, Leanne Pace. Played a golf out of the limelight this weekend, doesn't she? Hasn't played alongside either Sikander or Munoz, so just going about her business.
It's been a real advantage, I believe, just because of how boisterous the crowds for the final group were yesterday, and I know they're quite antsy out there to get pictures and videos and get the best vantage point. No surprise to see this woman on the fairway. Hit every single fairway yesterday, Camilla Lennart. Some impressive stuff on quite narrow fairways, really. Pin on 16 over in that back right corner, as we can see. Bit of a blind putting surface from the approach area, 16. And did it sit down? Might have pitched just past the pin and kicked through. We'll find out in a moment.
A little frustrated today, 2 over for her round.
Be interesting to see who actually does go first. I think Sikander might be further away, but Arthur obviously still needing the pin in. Likely be first to play. Looks that way. Kind of a couple of different types of grass over the back of 15. You can see the colour changes there as we look over.
There it is.
Miguel's left shoulder now. But there's a little bit of Kikuyu grass and Bermuda grass 419 around, so it just depends where you end up really over the back here on 15. What shot you have to play.
Just taking her time, likes everything just so. Other Munoz was giving someone a ticking off on the first tee earlier today.
Before she'd even teed up, actually.
Oh, great shot. He likes it.
He's just such a boss, isn't he? Look at him. The godfather of Spanish golf.
Megan McLaren, 17th greenness for birdie. Two under today, McLaren. Going to push her up the rookie standings, Megan McLaren. She can hang on to maybe 5th or 6th spots.
She'll do well to compete in that race as well, given that she's only played one event so far. Currently in 8th spot, up against players like Jenny Haglund, who have already played 5 events. It just all depends really on your category status going into the year as a rookie. How many events you can play your way into. It'll certainly help if she can pop up the order of merit.
Yeah, playing in France as well, isn't she? Chantico, the next tournament on the schedule, through an invitation from England Golf, so that will help. Sikander.
We've seen every player leave that putt short. It's so hard to hit it firm enough, especially when past the pin starts to kind of move toward the back of the green a little bit. Hard to read.
Georgia Hall from the shadows.
Almost a little double breaker as well for birdie.
Cool as you like. Eventually there was a reaction. A little smile from the 21-year-old, the South Coast in England, down in Bournemouth.
Lennart did in fact go through the green on 16, able to putt still.
Let's get back to the final group, Siganda. Disappointing for Carlotta. Drops a shot on the par 3 15th. No problems for Munoz.
That was a pretty classy up and down there from Arthur. Out of a bit of a dodgy lie. Nice tap in. Chance now for pace to get to 16 under par.
The closest challenger to Munoz now.
Talking earlier about the mathematics of it. You know that there's going to be birdies coming down the stretch. Just looking at the history of today and yesterday, with 18 playing as the easiest hole on the golf course all week. Question is, who will the birdies come from?
Take a look at what that means on the leaderboard. Munoz with a 3-shot lead over Leanne Pace. Siganda now back in a tie for third alongside Georgia Hall. Both those players on 14 under, so 4 adrift. Scariolo Martinez will be playing the 18th in the next few moments. 12 under par in 5th. Megan McLaren 6th on 11 under. And then a bunch of players tied for 7th. Most notable of those probably Suzann Pettersen, former world number 2. 16th tee.
Nice assertive golf swing there from Georgia. Slight dogleg left, sets up well for her.
Silencio, por favor.
Been able to maintain enough of a gap today, hasn't she, just to rule any real pressure out of the equation. Get the feeling no one's got quite got close enough.
The hole doesn't set up quite as easy for Carlotta with a bit of a cut. Has to take it right over the corner. Doesn't suit her eye as much, but when you look at what Arthur's done well, she's hit fairway after fairway, and she's hit 91% of greens going into today. That's a massive number. 16 greens the first day, only missed 1 on day 2, 16 again yesterday. And just giving yourself that many chances at birdie, it's going to wear down the rest of the final group, watching her do it time and time again, especially when she's making up and downs like she did on 15.
Pace on the 17th now. Needs something special.
Such a good experience, isn't it, for Frida to be playing alongside someone of the likes of Leanne Pace and her record on the LET.
Comes from the west coast of Sweden, a small island just north of Gothenburg.
One started left and might be headed left. A little island called Skafto, I believe.
Do you know it?
I haven't been there, actually. We did, of course, have an event in Sweden a couple of years back in Helsingborg. Not too far away from Copenhagen, really, just across the bridge.
Yeah, it's a lovely part of the world, isn't it? I know Gothenburg quite well. That coastline, popular destination for the Swedes who tend to have their summer houses out on that west coast, don't they?
Track for potentially another top 10. Pammy Pretzwell-Asher, if she can knock that one in, maybe she might just get career top 10 number 14.
Our guest of honour, wondering where he is. Just look for a puff of smoke.
Something I think the Spaniards do better than almost any other nation in terms of supporting each other. I know going into the Solheim, so many of the Spanish guys on the European Tour and the PGA Tour were sending messages. I know that Carlotta actually went out to the Masters with Sergio Garcia one year. He invited her out. She stayed with him all week and was just part of the family, really.
Yeah, I remember Arthur was at Chantico one year, wasn't he? Although that's over in France, of course, but close to the Spanish border, presenting the trophy to, I think it was Stacey Keating that year, wasn't it? Your good friend.
Spot on. Now Stacey Peters, after getting married. Of course, we're only about 3 kilometres away from where Arthur Munoz got married in San Pedro, a little church. Had a nice little reception down at a beach club in this part of the world. I'm sure everyone had an absolutely horrible time there. It sounds pretty rough. Carlotta was there along with a lot of other European Tour players. Really nice angle here for Georgia Hall. Needs a left bounce. Pretty handy.
Well, if she doesn't get her hands on the trophy, still with a good shout of second place, which, as you say, Alison, will help her in that Order of Merit battle. Currently 3rd in the Ladies European Tour Order of Merit.
This looks like a really strange shot from Carlotta. Just kind of started dead right. That was quite strange. I'm going to say that was a bit of a bad lie out of the rough there. Interesting strike.
And whether just a little bit of belief has disappeared from Carlotta after the bogey on the 15th. Munoz the leader.
It's been relentless. The consistency in the ball striking in particular from Arthur. If she walks away with the trophy, that's going to be what does it, what gets the job done. She wasn't actually hitting the ball that well in her practice rounds. She was having a bit of trouble and had her coach out there on the range with her this morning as well, ironing out a few kinks.
Here's pace. Can she apply a bit of pressure? They're on the 17th.
Doesn't have the length to get there in two. Like Sigunda, really only the top 5% on the driving distance will be scaring the 17th in two today.
The Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España Femenino, one of the longer titles. It's been testing us this weekend.
Just rolls off the tongue.
As does Escoriolo Martinez. I think we're up to the challenge, Alison. Just about. We're almost home and dry.
I would happily say that name 10 times if I get to live in this part of the world. I love it here. I think everyone's naturally just a little bit more relaxed when you get down to the southern coast of Spain. Mind you, this final group probably not feeling so relaxed anymore in the ending stages here on Sunday afternoon. Almost just a little sweeping action required here from Carlotta. Tidy.
Megan McLaren just putting the finishing touches to her week here in Spain. Some good memories for her.
She's done well to fight back. Georgia Hall now back at 1 under par, given that she's had 4 bogeys on the card today. If anything, just a little right to left, maybe down this hill.
Gathering momentum.
3 in a row now for Georgia Hall, with 2 par 5s to come.
Under alongside Leanne Pace now. Share of second. Can Munoz deliver another killer blow? Oh, almost.
up.
On any other golf course with 2 par 5s coming up, you'd probably say that you could start perhaps chiseling Arthur's name on the trophy, but not here, not at Guadalmina, because there are eagles up for grabs along with birdies, so it's not done yet. This needs to drop though for Siganda, really to almost stay in the race for second in a way. Cool and calm under pressure. She's going to be kicking herself about that front 9 though, out in 37, 2 over par. Not the start she wanted today. Nice little eagle try there for Escuriola Martinez. Birdie putt still to come. Chance to get to 13 under par for her.
Frida Kinholt. Playing up onto the 17th green. Very nice.
Absolutely textbook stuff there, throwing it past the hole, using the slope to her advantage.
Olivia Cowan, eagle putts to finish her week. Nicely done.
Yet to make a birdie today. She's had 3 bogeys and an eagle.
Now Leanne Pace back on the 17th. Can she produce something special here? It's not quite the quality she was looking for. Slight look of resignation. McLaren up on 18. Bogey at the last for McLaren. That's a shame, but it'll be good memories from our week in Spain. It's been a good 4 days for the young English woman.
An assertive swing. And that's not really going to help Georgia Hall that much in the sand. Really turns it into a 3-shot hole for her. So perhaps some good wedge work will be required. If anything, you really want to play this hole from the right side all the way around. Big roping dog leg. Everything kicks right to left.
3-shot lead then for Munoz, 2 to play.
She looks solid.
Yeah, there have been very few wobbles today. Given the situation, the scenario, the size, importance of what the victory would mean to her. It's been impressive from Munoz.
Started left. I don't know if it's fading though. That might not be that friendly in that little lip of the bunker there. All depends on the light. Birdie this hole, 2 of the 3 days so far, Siganda.
Escuriolo Martinez finishes with a birdie. What a week it's been for her too. 3 under 69 today. She'll have some fond memories of that 65 on Thursday. It's been a great week.
She's held up really well under pressure, given that she made 2 cuts out of her 11 events last year.
One of 3 Spaniards in the top 5, Escuriolo Martinez. But at the moment, still looking like the trophy will be going home with Azahara Munoz, a 3-shot lead. Leanne Pace playing the 17th, 15 under par. Georgia Hall alongside her, going up the 17th. Surprising day for Carlotta. Is that the headline from today, if you like?
I think she got off to a rough start, to be honest with you, even before she teed it up. You know, cutting her right leg open a little bit, having a bit of a stumble before she even got to the tee. She also was rushing to the tee a little bit. She had about 7 minutes to get from the range to the first tee and had to get a move on. So maybe just a little out of sync even before she teed it up.
Pace for birdie. No.
She needed that.
Yeah.
Realistically, someone's got to apply some pressure. Pace really won with the chance. Now Georgia Hall back in the fairway bunker. Those two on 15 under par. Siganda a shot further back at 14 under par. And this woman striding out in front with a 3-shot lead. Her parents out in the crowd as well.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a fairy tale victory for Azahara Munoz. Kinholtz with a birdie putt up on the 17th green. Did she get back to 8 under? No.
Three over par today for the Swede, but just gaining a wealth of experience, you get the feeling. And we talked about the lie. And you can see from that left leg up on the slope that this might not be that nice down in the sand.
Quickly back to Pace, in for par. Really needs, you would imagine, an eagle at the very least at 18, Leanne Pace. She's going to trouble the leader Munoz and hope something goes horribly wrong for the Spaniard.
Coming from the best position of the 3 as well here on 17 on the fairway. Aiming well out right. This ball will kick left when it lands. Not if you spray it out to the right-hand side, though. That's going to be okay. It's not quite getting the anticipated draw, maybe.
Shades back on, sticking to the routine. It's important in these big moments. To Siganda.
It's a case of just Carlotta trying to get as much out of this shot as she can without risking too much. You need to cover that lip and then just try get the ball down as far as possible.
Chip nicely from there, though.
Crowd seem to like it.
Good year over in the States, Suzann, this season. 25th on the LPGA money list. Nearly $600,000 in the bank in 2017.
Not quite thin to win, but maybe thin. Oh, with a chance.
What's the chance of that? And come another 20 yards further on. Love that. Perfect shot, my love.
Someone liked it.
It did move the other ball, I think around about 3 inches. We'll see. So no doubt, maybe the rules officials will be called over there.
Where's the third lady? Has she played yet? She played before.
Perhaps the opportunity has slipped away from Georgia today, but still a fabulous year for her. 21 years of age, Solheim Cup debut, as we mentioned. Just broken into the top 50 in the world rankings. That was another target of hers this season. 18th tee, Leanne Pace. Tied for second.
Looking out to the right a little bit, might get a bounce down. And she might just be a little bit blocked out to the green from that right-hand side, Leanne Pace. Have to wait and see. There's a slight dogleg round to the right, the 18th.
Can you put Georgia's potential into perspective? We spent a couple of years, didn't we, talking about Charlie Hull, who's made that transition, it seems. We're talking about a similar kind of talent?
I think she's got all of kind of the right ingredients to be a great player. She's very consistent. She's supremely autonomous. I can't stress how independent she actually is as a human off the golf course as well. Lives on her own at the age of 21, so she's been pretty self-sufficient for a while now, and I think that lends really well to tour golf in particular, when you don't always have your coach and your family around you. So I think she's going to suit the lifestyle quite nicely.
Picture perfect setting here at Guadalmina. Sienna's third on 17. Oh, what a shot. It was worth the wait.
Spanish flair at its best. Nearly going in. Probably only an inch or two off. Oh. Cheeky golf ball.
A treat for the fans around the 17th green.
It's actually quite a tough pin to get at, and Carlotta made it look really easy there, but it's not. There's a huge false front right in front of this whole location, and then a bit of a backstop behind it, so throwing it at least pin high is ideal. Use the slope to your advantage.
Spin now.
Fist pump there from caddy Mike Scott.
Looks in complete control, doesn't she? benefited from a bit of breathing space over this back nine.
About 2 or 3 yards too far there for Georgia. A little too close to the green as well, perhaps, to generate the same spin that the other two players were able to. It's going to require a pretty good putt coming up. Kinhult, though, on 18.
Pretty good.
Oh, to have a microphone on that conversation. I'm not sure I could understand any of it, but I'm sure it'd be interesting.
Oh, here's Leanne Pace. Needs something extra special now. She's going to trouble Munoz. Second on 18. How's that, Alison?
You have got to be kidding. That was not that easy. Ball above her feet. Fade around the trees. I think it might have even clipped part of the tree. It sounded like it. Eagle putt coming up. A chance for Leanne Pace to get to 17 under par.
She's teasing us, isn't she? Just still faint hope that the South African might just spring a surprise. You never know.
It ain't over until the winner jumps in the pool.
As they say in Marbella.
Really big putt for Georgia as well. Realistically, big left to right slope down a ridge. Anything inside 2 or 3 feet would be great. She eagled the final hole at the Ladies Scottish Open about a month and a half ago. She finished with a flourish. Hard to get your mind around, isn't it? World number 22. Playing in front of a home crowd alongside one of her best friends. She only had 1 birdie today. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Deep breaths there from Arthur. Maybe some visualization going on as well.
Just rehearsing the double somersault off the high board. Suganda for birdie. Yeah, great putt. Great goal from Suganda.
That from an absolutely shocking line, that bunker off the fairway as well. That's a great fall.
Battle for seconds hotting up. Frida Kinhult has entertained us this week. The amateur from Sweden for eagle. Looks like she'll finish with a birdie though. Still 17 years of age. She's going to have a pretty happy birthday tomorrow, you would imagine. Turns 18. It's been some week. Munoz for birdie. making it look easy. Are we done and dusted, Alison?
I think that might have just done it. I think, given she now holds a 4-shot lead going up the last hole. Stranger things have happened. This could play into it a little bit, of course. Not 2 shots maybe off that 4-shot lead, potentially, if this goes in. For Leanne Pace for eagle to get to 17 under par. She'd be the clubhouse leader.
In it goes. What a wonderful finish for Leanne Pace. Maybe too little, too late. We will see. But a fabulous eagle at the last, and that's a decent round, isn't it? 67.
I think she'd look back on that round and say that she did what was required of her, particularly on that back nine, 4 under for the last 9 holes. Hall finishes out for her par, but the birdie run comes to an end.
Camilla Lennart finishing up on 18. Chance to finish on 8 under. She does. Frustrating day for Lennart, but a good week overall after recent injury problems. Looks like that trio has enjoyed one another's company. Back to the leader. Tantalizingly close to victory.
It's pretty simple, the equation. I think if this shot hits the fairway, that's about it. And I can tell you she's got an 81% chance of hitting the fairway. She's got a 91% chance of hitting the green. Dogleg slightly round to the right. Out of bounds right. Trouble left as well.
There goes Adahara Munoz, 2-shot lead on the 18th tee.
Straight down to pick up the tee. It's a good sign. And a very nice drive up that left-hand side.
As for Hall and Saganda, maybe just a case of can either of them catch Leanne Pace in that battle for second.
Low fade. Might just run through the fairway a little bit. No. All good. So a chance to go forward in 2. An eagle will get her up to 17 under into a share of second with the clubhouse leader, Leanne Pace. And applying the appropriate pressure to Arthur Munoz.
3. Safely up the 18th fairway. Perhaps there was a slight sigh of relief there for Munoz. Looks like she's home and dry now. There's confirmation. Munoz going up the 18th now with a 2-shot lead. Leanne Pace in the clubhouse. Good 67 from her today. Wonderful eagle at the last, pushing her onto a 17 under par. Sikander and Hall still with a chance of joining Pace, perhaps in a tie for second if they can produce something really special at the last. Escuriola Martinez has bounced back well this week. She was in a share of the lead on Thursday night, finishes in 5th at the very least. Camilla Lennart, we saw her bring a conclusion to her final round. 74 today, a bit disappointing, but still a top 10 finish for the Swede. 68 from Bristow today. And Clara Spilkova, that was a good round for her, a winner in Morocco earlier this season. 67 for the Czech. Diana Luna there, finished in a tie for 30. Another of our joint leaders on Thursday evening, Diana, just fell away a touch over the weekend. It's our special guest. He's in there somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, over on the left-hand side, just cruising his way up 18.
Inside the ropes, naturally.
He's used to being inside the ropes, that
There he is.
man. Don't know how far he'd get outside the ropes, really. Signing autographs. It's probably a wise idea from a crowd control perspective. This hole was playing 475 yards on day one. They actually moved up the tee for the last, at least the last 2 rounds, moved it forward a ways. So it truly is a very attackable par 5 now.
Do I need to do a cut or anything, or just keep like a little down and that's it?
And what the emotions are doing inside for Munoz. Be a fair few people here, green side, that have played a part, no doubt, in her developments as a golfer. Perhaps not recently, but I'm sure there'll be a few familiar faces from when she was a kid kicking around this place.
I think it's something that comes.
I mean, it's going to be very cool, but it's going to chase.
Yeah.
That's the order. It's going to come out low, but it's going to chase up. Plenty of room at the front of this green. We'll give that one about a C+ maybe, but she can afford it. Up by the green into probably about 50 or 60 yards left for Arthur Munoz.
A couple of steps closer to the silverware. Sikander up next, hoping to at least join Leanne Pace in a tie for second. She'll have that for an eagle. It'll be a warm reception when these two Spaniards stride onto the green. I'm sure the Spanish fans have enjoyed watching Georgia Hall over the last 4 days as well. It'll be a name the fans of European golf will become very familiar with, you would imagine, over the next 5–10 years.
Pin all the way in that back right corner. Needs to throw it all the way back to get it close. She's done just that, clinging to the top tier. She better run up and mark that bad boy because it could come all the way back down the slope. I think it'll stay from the looks of it, but an eagle chance coming up for Georgia Hall.
She'll perhaps be disappointed, won't she, with maybe that feeling that she'd let things slip. She had a 3-shot lead early on yesterday, but overall context, another stepping stone for her.
Definitely, and I think, you know, those 4 bogeys today, given that, you know, in her first 3 rounds, she made a double bogey and 2 bogeys, so she's actually equaled the amount of shots over par today than she had in the first 3 rounds. So not what she was looking for, but what a beautiful moment for Arthur Munoz. It's the kind of stuff she would have dreamt about growing up. When you're an up-and-coming amateur golfer, you can almost imagine the crowds sitting up on the hill that are there today. Still a little bit of work left to do, but you'd imagine it's merely a formality now. Just wants to finish with integrity intact.
Yeah, needs to stay focused, but also enjoy this moment. You know, she worked so hard over the years to arrive at these kind of days as a professional golfer. They don't come along too often, do they? Even for the best golfers in the world.
It's just so hard to do this at your home course. I can't stress that enough. The pressure. So few people win in their home country, let alone in their hometown on their home golf course. Mind you, she's drawn an absolutely shocking lie in that Bermuda rough there. Still a steely focus intact.
Leanne Pace casting a beady eye over proceedings behind those extra large shades.
A chip in 2 putts will still get the job done for Arthur Munoz. You know that she's going to be feeling the nerves. She is actually quite a nervy player, but her swing is just so consistent that it never really seems to get in her way that much once she's in the hunt. Held it together really well. This time last year at Aloha in the final stages, almost going into what felt like a playoff at the time. It was the final hole up against Beth Allen, and Beth pulled it into the water. Arthur kept her cool and hit one of the best shots I've ever seen from the right side from the trees to win the title. She's been brilliant again this week under even more difficult circumstances, really.
The locals are enjoying this. It's all gone according to the script. Almost home and dry. Sure, they'd love to see this eagle putt of Sigander's disappear as well. That would put the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
What more could they want, really? I mean, it's been a brilliant week so far. I think them going head-to-head today has been really something quite special. Perhaps not the day Sigander was hoping for, but this could just be the final sparkle on what's been a really great week for Spanish golf.
Escuriolo Martinez in 5th as well. Luna Sobron with the lowest round of the day. Here we go, Sigander for eagle. Oh, come on. How good was that?
Take a bow, Carlota Sigander. It was like she was listening. And what a lovely moment for her. She's going to have a second place finish. You'd have to think yet again for the second time this year in Spain. She did it in a playoff, losing to the eventual winner, Florrie Parker. And this time round, it's going to be one of her best and oldest friends, Arthur Munoz. Can Georgia Hall follow her in? Get to 17 under par as well? Would it be too much to ask?
Come on, Georgia. Oh, wasn't to be. Nevertheless, enjoying the moment. She's played her part in proceedings this week, no doubt about that.
It's been another good week in the books for Georgia Hall. 42 career starts on the LET, 14 top 10 finishes. I like those odds. And she's added another one here in Marbella.
$16 under par for the tournament. Georgia Hall, the 21-year-old. 4th place. All eyes on the local, Alejandro Munoz. There it is. Job done for Munoz. The champion here at Guadalmina. And a fairy tale victory for the Spaniard. Back-to-back Ladies Spanish Open victories at Loja 12 months ago and now on her home course. What a week for Aza Munoz. And didn't she do well controlling the emotions this afternoon?
She was practically unstoppable out there ever since around about that 4th hole. After Carlota Sigander made that double bogey, she never looked back. 3 straight birdies from 5 to 7. That's when she started to stretch away from the field. It's the hardest job in golf to win in your home country. It's the hardest job to win on your home course, and she has done just that. What an incredible experience.
And it's the moment victory was secured for Munoz. Her 5th win on the Ladies European Tour. What a reception. The queen of this course.
Oh, there's Mum. Oh, this is where the emotion usually just starts flooding out for Arthur. You can see it means so much to her family, just so important in the Munoz family. They're lovely people. They'll be dancing tonight, I can tell you that much.
Flamenco, you would imagine. Let's hope so. There's confirmation then of a famous victory, an emotional victory, an incredible week for Azahara Munoz, the local, the player that grew up at this Guadalmina golf course. She secures victory by 2 strokes over Leanne Pace and Carlota Segander in a tie for second. Georgia Hall 4th in the end. What a week for Natalia Escoriolo Martinez as well in 5th, and Megan McLaren 6th there. Let's look back on some wonderful moments, some showreel that Munoz has put together, not only today, but over the last 4 days. Did such a good job of just keeping ahead initially.
Sometimes it's about the birdies. Sometimes it is about the tap-in pars. That was great on the 8th, one of the hardest holes on the golf course. Got through that stretch unscathed and made this nice little chip on the 10th hole, the par 3. Just a kick in there for par. Made the 10 in 33. 2 under. And then this on the 12th. This was when things started to get a little shaky, didn't they? Had that coming back for par. Couldn't hole it, so second bogey on the card for the day. Made there on 12, but what a bounce back this was. On the short par 5, 14th hole. Setting herself up with a very makeable birdie chance.
Another one disappeared.
This was a seriously good up and down. She needed a shovel and spade to get that one out. Instead, she used a nice little bump and run wedge. A touch of class for a 3 on the 15th for par. Parred 16th. And had this approach on the 17th. Using the backstop to perfection. And setting up this birdie putt. Little right to left, down the hill. Little members experience perhaps as well. She knows these greens so well. And then on to 18 after a little bit of a fluff pitch. Bumping this one up to round about 2.5, 3 feet for her par. Family and friends watching on. And she knocked it in. An incredible finish, 2 under for the last 5 holes. That's what you've got to do to win these kind of championships in what's been an all-star cast really this week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great week. Nice moment between Munoz and Segander on the 18th green. They both entertained us royally at Guadalmina over the last 3 or 4 days. Georgia Hall's played some wonderful golf as well. I've enjoyed watching Leanne Pace, who deserves her tie for second.
Can you give them
She's going to be busy, isn't she, over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. We're hoping we can get her into position for a quick chat and try and find out exactly what was going on inside her head and what it feels like to win back-to-back titles on Spanish soil. Remember, the champion 12 months ago disappears under the ropes. Few moments. I hope we can get her in front of a microphone. All is calm on the 18th. The action disappears quickly, doesn't it? I think we're ready. We've got Munoz next to the scoring tent. Almost in a few moments. Understandably taking a few minutes longer than it might normally. Huge day for Azahara Munoz here in Spain. Here she is. She's talking to Hector Morse.
Azza, congratulations. What a performance here this week. You came to get your title and you delivered.
Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't be any happier. Obviously, defending my title and in my home course where I grew up, and yeah, it's been an amazing week, and all the fans were here supporting me, so I'm so happy I did it for them.
In some ways, it was the second day, that great score on the second day, that really got you back into this tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I've been playing so good all week, and today I didn't play my best, especially on the back nine, but, you know, shooting 8 under always really helps, and today on the back nine I made some amazing up and down, so, you know, that was definitely the key as well.
At the start of this week, you promised to jump in the pool if you won. Are you going to deliver?
If you ask me, I'll deliver.
Well done. Now it's time to get the trophy.
Yeah, lovely moment for Munoz. There it is. An historic trophy on the Ladies European Tour. And presented by Gonzaga Escoriaza, President of the Royal Spanish Golf Federation. Handing over the silverware, which also already has Munoz's name engraved from 12 months ago. The victory will be sinking in. What will be the abiding memories, Alison, for you from the last 4 days?
I think just the Spanish battle, and having Georgia Hall in the mix is always fun given her rising star in the European game, but hats off to Arthur doing that under those conditions. And I say those conditions, they're the best conditions you can ever get. She was staying at her own house and just played absolutely spectacular golf this week. It is, I mean, it's a revelation really, isn't it, for the Spanish Golf Federation as well.
Fairy tale stuff then for Azahara Munoz. She's the champion on home soil, not only home soil at the club, the Real Club de Golf Guadalmina, just outside Marbella, where she grew up as a kid. There are pictures of on the walls here as an 8 or 9-year-old. I suspect there might be another photo added to the walls in the not too distant future. That's all from us here in Spain. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Until next time, it's bye for now.